For more information and a full transcript of this video, check out funforthedisabled.com. When joining us for this video, you need to take some precautions as your health and safety are the most important. To avoid any injury or harm, you need to check your health with your doctor before exercising. By performing any fitness exercises without supervision, like with this video, you are performing them at your own risk. See a fitness professional to give you advice on your exercise form. Strategy for Access Foundation NFP and BYOM Yoga will not be responsible or liable for any injury or harm you sustain as a result of this video.
Welcome to the Adaptive Yoga demo. My name is Jackie. I have a company called BYOM Yoga out in San Diego, California, and I provide adaptive and accessible yoga for all bodies, all ages, and no experience necessary. So, like I said, it's adaptive yoga for all ages and all bodies. That means you bring your body, we do yoga. Most people think of yoga as kind of this pretzel, bizarre, competitive, gotta sweat, gotta get down on the floor on a mat. And I am here to tell you that that is not what yoga is. If you were sitting and breathing and being calm and being accepting and loving of your body, you are doing yoga. Anytime that you're sitting and relaxing and kind of finding a good headspace, if you're breathing, you're doing yoga. I do yoga with moms and infants. I do yoga with my 90-year-old dad. It is all yoga. It is not mysticism. It is not religion. Yoga is about the breath and you finding a space in your heart for love and acceptance of yourself and finding peace and ease in your own body. That doesn't mean that it can't be challenging for you to build muscle and strength and endurance. You can absolutely utilize that. In fact, physical therapists use the ancient principles of yoga, same techniques, to build strength and rehabilitate you. You'll find a lot of parallels in that, but when it comes down to it, you finding that quiet time, that space between the thoughts, that's your yoga. So you can call it whatever you want. You can call it meditation, you can call it quiet time. You can find yoga when you're taking a walk, taking a stroll, taking a run, taking a nap. If you're if you've got the calm in here. So what we're going to do today is practice, and we call it a practice, not a perfect. Practice a little bit of breathing technique, some diaphragmatic breathing, which can be very useful if you're struggling with any issues in here. And I don't mean to be presumptive, but most of us struggle with something going on in here, right? Anybody not have stress in their lives, right? Raise your hand because I need to be your friend, right? So whether you're 5 years old and going to preschool, kindergarten, grammar school, or whether you're 95 years old and you got the weight of the world on your shoulders, we all have stress. So what we can do is work on a little breathing technique. This one is probably 13 years old. It has been through 6th graders. It has been smashed, left in the sun. It was $30. It has lasted forever. So we're going to hold the red parts. Sit up as tall as you can in your body. And just take a notice of feeling in your place. Right? You're just feeling in your place. A lot of times we end up somewhere in our body and our brain is still way somewhere else. So just for a moment, we know we're in Schaumburg. We're in the convention center. We're in this room. We're sitting in a yoga demo. What does that mean? It just means we're going to breathe. Take a deep breath in through your nose if you can. If it's stuffy, use your mouth. And if you've got a ball, open it. And if you don't have a ball, you're going to pretend by opening your hands. Big breath in through the nose. And then a big breath out through the nose. Big breath in through the nose. Big breath out through the nose. Yeah, it takes a second for it to close. Slower you go, the more you might feel like you're on a raft or a boat. I hope you don't get seasick. Big breath in through the nose. Big breath out through the nose. If you don't have a sphere, you use your hands in through the nose, out through the nose. You continue, and I'll guide you through this. The breath is rising in the body, filling the belly. And as you exhale, you relax a little. Maybe the shoulders start to drop away from your ears. Your face feels soft and supple, like the tide coming into the shore, smoothing the sand. Excellent. Come on in and you can use one of these balls. Please feel welcome. And exhale. Breathe in and breathe out. Freedom of movement of the breath, bringing in joy and acceptance and love. And the exhale, washing away the tension, like opening the windows on a spring day, allowing to move out anything you're not needing in this moment. See if maybe you feel a little less stressed just in this minute. Putting some space between what we were doing and what we're going to do. Carving out a little quiet time. Even though there's all this stuff going on around us, just for a second, we were just here in our own minds. If you're comfortable, allow your eyelids to drop. Place your hands over your heart. Take a deep breath into the space under your hands. And exhale again. Maybe the corners of your mouth lift in a little smile. And blink your eyes open. It's our quickie little breathing break. You can take your little ball and put it down on the ground next to you. We're going to do a little stretching. Let's take some weight off our shoulders. So the thing in yoga, I like to call it Jewish yoga, because if it hurts, you don't have to do it. It's nice, right? So there you go. You're going to roll your shoulders the best you can. Take them back. Take them back. Take them back. We tend to spend a lot of time doing this. Let's undo that. Roll the shoulders. Sometimes the shoulders are uneven due to skeletal or muscular issues, so maybe we give them both ample opportunity to move and then swim them forwards. Swim them forwards. Try to use any muscles you got around the shoulders as long as it doesn't hurt. Let them rest, right? And if you don't move those muscles a lot, they might feel tired right now, right? We're experimenting. We're checking in with body parts we might not tap into that often. See if you can tick-tock your head a little bit to the side. We're not trying to force it. Heads are heavy. They're filled with a lot of good stuff. Let it stay there. And then roll your chin very carefully down toward your chest. If you've got a trach tube, if you've got any breathing assisting devices and this is uncomfortable, don't do it. Roll your head back over to the same shoulder and then help it up. Help it up. You'd help a friend, help yourself. A lot of times we're really hard on our own body when we would never be that critical to a friend. Drop your head a little bit to the other side and just notice if you feel any stretch. Sometimes I sleep on the side and I have a crick in my neck and I spend the whole day feeling grumpy and I never think, I could probably stretch this. Roll the chin to your chest. Very slowly roll it back to the shoulder and lift it up. Right. Take one finger, put it on your chin dimple, and push your chin back in space, creating a triple chin. It's cool, we all have it now. Look around, make a silly face, and then release your chin. Lift your... I know, right? Thank you. Lift your eyebrows, but not your eyes. Get surprised, if you can, right? And now, keep your eyebrows steady, but lift your eyes. Look at the ceiling, right? Like we're all teenagers. Like, whatever. Now look at your nose. It's strengthening our eye muscles. And yeah, that's part of the practice. Now look towards 3 o'clock without turning your head. Look towards 9 o'clock without turning your head. And bring it back to center. Now squeeze your eyes closed. And then relax your face and slowly open your eyes. Right? Eye yoga. Right? Now we're going to do a little work for our jaw. One of the things we don't want to do in yoga is clench our jaw, because we probably spend a lot of time with the jaw clenched. So take your fingers, if you can, and put them right at that part where your two jaw pieces come together, right? There's a muscle there. In fact, if you bite down like you're chewing gum, you can feel it get tense, right? So you want to make sure that space feels open, and then open your lower jaw, all right, like a snake. And stick your tongue out. Drool on yourself, because that always happens. And then slowly close it. All right, feels a little better already. Tension is gone. We store our tension there, right? Mammals, we chew, right? Right. Roll one shoulder back and turn to look in that direction. I'm going to hold here. We don't want to feel pain in the back. We want this to feel strong in our belly. If you've got issues with your back, you're going to move less. Let's turn back to the front and go the other way. Roll the shoulder back. Let the heart follow. And come back to center. Let's go back. Roll that shoulder back. Maybe the hand goes with and comes to the side of the chair. Maybe the other arm reaches to a cactus position or straight up to the sky. Feel the stretch on that side of the body. Takes a little extra energy here. So if your energy level isn't up for it, you bring it down. You match what your body needs. Come back to the center. Right? I'm going to take that Nike logo and say, no pain, no pain. Right? Roll that shoulder back. If it's feeling good, take the arm up. When we take our arms up, we open up our breathing tubes. Gives us more room. Give our body an opportunity to stretch. A lot of times as adults, we don't take our arms up. Kids, you guys have your arms up all the time in school. Bring the arm down. Turn forward. Facing forward, high. Roll on in. Take one arm up. Right? Maybe tap the back of your head and see if you can send the elbow up. Get a little stretch. I call this, right? Raise up your arms if you're sure pose. It's an old commercial. Then bring it down. I'm seeing yawning. That means you're relaxing. Take the other arm up. And remember the rule. You weren't here for the rule. If it hurts, don't do it. And then take the hand to the back of your head and see if you can send the elbow up. Notice where you feel the stretch. Yeah. So sometimes they'll say, how do you feel? I like to say, where and what do you feel? Those are two really important things. Right? Is it in the shoulder and is it a sharp shooting pain? Get that arm down. Is it a nice warm stretch in this part of the arm? Enjoy it. Bring it on down. Maybe your shoulders feel good enough to go both arms up. If you take both arms up and it hurts your back, stop doing it. Do one at a time. Maybe you pat yourself on the back and bring the elbows forward and you think of two nice things to say about yourself. Like, I have awesome fashion sense. I have nice teeth. I'm a good friend. I can make nice cookies. Just 2 things. You think them to yourself. Put those in your toolkit for affirmations. Bring them down. Right? The more we take our arms up, the higher our heart rate gets. It's good cardiovascular work as well. Walk your hands forward on your lap. Lean your heart forward a little bit. Check into how your back feels. If you're good to go, see if your elbows come down. If you've got issues with your low back, you're not going to go any lower. Breathing gets a little tight in the belly area here. We want to make room for our flesh. You may, if there's room, take your feet a little bit further apart. If your feet are on paddles and you can't do that, you're going to stay part way forward. Try and lengthen your rib cage away from your hips. Right? Make more space for breathing rather than less. Right? We're working our back muscles, making them stronger. And then to come up, let's push down into the earth and lift up. Right? Let's use gravity. A lot of times we're like, ugh, gravity, whatever. It's making me feel heavy. If we build our muscular strength, we're using gravity, turning it into our friend. Right? Wherever you're positioned, see if you can stretch one leg a little bit forward. I'm going to come around for those that are in support systems and give them a block to put their feet on. So we're making this extremely accessible. So we don't want to lock our leg out, but we do want it feeling like we're putting some effort into it and it's resting on the floor. Right? It looks like a ski ramp. Take the same side arm and raise it up. Wave to your friends. Hello. Take that hand, now put it on the opposite leg and lean forward a little. So that foot should be on the chair, yeah. So you need a base. And you're leaning forward and you may notice a stretch in the back of the straight leg. That's what we're looking for. Stretch in the, So we have our base, which is our bent leg, and a stretch. So they call this the seated half splits. Congratulations, today we're doing the splits. Breathe in, try and get taller. Breathe out. See if you feel a stretch anywhere. This is a great stretch to do before bed, especially if you get leg cramps, because it opens up the back of the leg, the calf and the hamstring, and even will help ease stretching and any cramping that you get in your low back. To come out of this, to make sure that you don't create any issues with your back, we're going to walk our hands up our own thigh. King Kong, climb up. And then you're going to take the leg that's extended, and I'm going to even show, I'm going to take that leg and I'm going to place it back on the floor of my paddle. Then we're going to switch which leg we're stretching. Right? So move that block on over or have somebody give you a hand. The heel goes down and the toe goes up. We try and get our back nice and straight. So we don't have to work that hard. We don't have to cheerily jump into a splits. It helps to have a nice seat, sitting up nice and tall. And again, we got this straight leg. We take the same side arm. We wave hello to a friend, and that hand comes down on the bent knee. We lead with our heart. Imagine how our lives would be. Imagine how the whole world would be if everybody led from the heart instead of the head. Just leave that thought right there. A heart-centered world is a beautiful idea. And again, notice where you feel any stretch and what you feel. Is it a warm sensation? Right? Is it a moving sensation? Can you continue to breathe long and full? Remember, if you can't breathe, you need to move away from what you're doing. This is something you could do sitting on the edge of the bed. Let's press our hands into the bent knee leg and lift up slowly with strength. Walk our hands back. It's a beautiful single leg stretch. Both feet will be on something solid, and then lift your heels up. Feel your calf muscles engage and drop them down. Yeah. And then see if you can lift your toes up. It can be an issue if the shin muscles, if your anterior tibialis aren't working well, and that's okay. Just a little toga, little toe yoga. Heels up, and then toes up. Heels up, and then toes up. And if the heels and the toes aren't listening, you can lift the fingers up and the palms up instead. Right? Fingers and palms, there you go. It counts. Fingers up and palms up work just the same. You can do both. If you really want to go for the coordination, try hands and feet together. We adapt, right? We're yogis, we adapt. Get a little wiggle there, especially since we kept our foot in that lifted position for so long. We might have a cramp. We want to avoid that. All right. I'm going to do one more. We're going to do, I call it the cheek sneak. The cheek sneak. It's also called the chair wiggle. So you're going to wiggle your tush in the chair. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. If you got your tush wiggle good, down good. So at the bottom of our bottom are two things called the sit bones. You may have heard them called sit bones. Their actual name is the ischial tuberosities, right? I know, it's a big, long medical name. So you're going to think about those, and you're going to imagine somebody's got a $100 bill and they want to slide it under one side of your butt. And you're going to think about lifting it up and putting it down. But not so much that you fall out of your chair, because falling is not an option, right? And then, so it's a slow wiggle. Lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, right? Like you're wiggling in slow motion the best you can. You don't actually have to get air here. We're not doing a Michael Jordan thing. Just a wiggle. We're strengthening the muscles in our core. No sit-ups required. It's the anti-sit-up. I love that. I know. Thumbs up on the anti-sit-up. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And never so much that you're going to slide out of your chair. Right? And then front to back. Right? Just like you're trying to get comfortable. You're like, ah. Front to back a little bit. Just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Like you're in the sand trying to make a nest. And then pause. Yeah, you can chair dance. It's also chair dancing, right? And it can be tiring. And then we're going to stretch one arm up, slow, inhale, and exhale. And then inhale, and exhale. So now we're stretching out all those muscles that we just made work. Inhale, and exhale. And inhale, hello. Exhale. You guys can high five when you inhale and exhale, right? You can lean towards each other. And yeah, if you've got a friend, I always recommend high fiving when you lean towards them. And then inhale and exhale. Next time you go to one side, take the free hand and put it on the chair and hold as long as it feels like a good stretch. And then you want to breathe into the whole side of your body. Like imagine you could draw lines and send the breath there. Make your side body the breathing ball. One more breath. Bring that arm down. Yeah. Right? If your fingers started to get tingly, it might be you have a tight fit in your shoulder. You just don't have to go as far. Roll out your wrist. Let's go to the other side. Lift and lengthen. Exhale, find your stretch. Breathe into your ribs like they're blinds in a window and they're opening up to let some more air in. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Your muscles are supporting your joints. We're using gravity, right? It's not using us, we're using it. Come on up. And then the best part of class, scooch on back in your chair. Get yourself comfortable. If you have a block, you are free to put your feet up on it to rest, because having your knees bent like this isn't necessarily comfortable. Yeah, you can put it up like it's a footstool. You can, I call this slouch asana. Turn your hands up on your lap. Drop your shoulders. I know it's noisy in here. We don't necessarily feel relaxed, but if you'd like, let your eyes close. And we're going to do 3 of those deep breaths again. Inhale slowly through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. You have no obligation to think about anything. This is your time. And darn it, you deserve it. We say thank you to our bodies for all that they do. And we offer them support and love and forgiveness for anything that they didn't do. And we'll take 30 seconds here with my voice turned off, feeling the breeze on our skin and allowing our flesh to be smooth and letting the chairs hold us up. Being beautiful beings in gratitude. Now wiggle your fingers. And if you can, wiggle your toes or imagine they're wiggling. And then bring the feet back underneath the knees. Use the hands in the chair to help press yourself to an upright position so you're safe in your chair. And if you're okay keeping your eyes closed for one more moment, take your palms together and rub them. Create a little bit of heat for your own body. This is your magic. This is your magic power. Make heat between your hands. And then place your hands across your heart. We have gratitude for our own bodies, and then we have gratitude for the opportunity to be here together, to be a little vulnerable, to try something new. And then we let our eyes flutter open. Maybe we're smiling, noticing if we feel different than we did a half hour ago. In the tradition of yoga, we thank each other for participating together. And the word that we use as a thank you is namaste. It means I bow to you, and so for that I say namaste. Thank you so much for taking a chance and coming to join me today. I'm so grateful. That is a yoga practice, you guys, so take that information with you however you like. Practice it at home, see if it makes a difference for you. I have lots of free yoga online. I will give you my card. I have like 60 classes that are all chair-based, and you're welcome to use them at your leisure. If anybody needs them, they wanted to license them for use with a group, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. Right now they are available for free. I've got kids classes that have crafts. I have teens, I have adults, I have special needs for folks where we use a lot more props. So I'm more than happy to share those with you. I am San Diego based, but I travel out to Chicago quite often. I do have other props if you want to check out the props, and I'm open for questions. So I know they have another demo coming in. We can move to the side. I'd like to thank Vanessa for recording this, Fun for the Disabled, and for the Expo for having me out again, and you guys for coming out. So thank you again.